I stopped drinking alcohol almost 8 years ago, but I struggled for almost 10 years. And during the 10 years that I struggled to stop drinking, I tried everything. I tried AA, I tried using willpower, I read books, I begged God to help me. But the big problem with all of this stuff is I actually thought that I had a choice. I thought that I was choosing to drink, so I thought I could choose to stop. But it was a lot deeper than that, because there were forces that were all working against me. So every time I try and stop drinking alcohol, it would end up in failure. And today I'm going to break down the 8 reasons why you drink alcohol, and this might not even be your choice. And as we go further through this video, I'm hoping that you'll start to get the realizations that I got that helped me go from struggling to feeling no desire to drink at all. If we've not met yet, my name is Leon Sylvester. I'm the founder of SoberClear.com and also the author of the 48-Hour Alcohol Reset, which you can get on Amazon, or you can click the link in the description. The first reason why you drink alcohol, and this is really the foundation of everything, is that you were born into a world that has a paradigm already installed, and the paradigm is that alcohol adds value to your life. And this is going to be more relevant if you're born in the West, if you're born in America, in Canada, in England, in Europe, because it's not the case in the Middle East. But it's very likely that you're born into a world that sees alcohol as a good thing. And do you know how hard it is to go against that? Do you know how hard it is to go against the status quo and just say, well, I'm going to go a different path? I mean, people do it, but it's not easy. It's not easy to kind of go against the grain. You risk social exclusion. You risk being a bit of an outcast. Usually, it's fine. In fact, it's always fine, because when you choose to go a different path and people start judging you negatively, that's their problem, not yours. But that doesn't make it any easier to actually make the decision to do something else. So the fact that we're born into this world that sees alcohol as a good thing makes it difficult to really just do critical thinking and ask yourself, is everything that I'm learning about alcohol true? We don't question it because everybody around us is buying into it as well. So that's the first reason why you drink. It's just because that's the world that we live in. But the problem, which leads me to the second thing, the problem is that world and that paradigm, that worldview was manipulated. You didn't design it yourself. You didn't sit down and really look at alcohol and really just think, okay, well, you didn't do anything like that because it was installed. It was installed by a multi-billion-dollar machine, which is big alcohol. And big alcohol spends money to reinforce the idea that alcohol is a good thing that you should have in your life. How do they do it? Well, I go into a lot of detail about this in my book, but essentially they're doing 3 things. They're marketing the heck out of it. They're pushing basically this propaganda on you 24/7. They also manipulate science. I talk about that in my book, so if you want to go deeper into that, have a look. And the third thing is the media. What will happen is there'll be some weird scientific study that's really funded by big alcohol. Some headline comes up that's like, wine drinkers live longer. And all of this stuff is just working against you all of the time. All to get you to believe that poisoning yourself with this drug is normal. So that's the second reason. Now, the third reason is that if you try to stop drinking alcohol, then the solutions that we use, in my opinion, they're broken. Again, I talk about this in my book. I look through all of the solutions. But what it ends up happening is we've got this idea that alcohol is a good thing and adds value in our life. Then we get it reinforced all of the time. And then we try and stop drinking. And then the methods fail us. And then what happens is we want alcohol more. And it's almost like the traditional methods of stopping drinking can make it harder because you want alcohol more and more and more. So then when you actually relapse and drink again, you just go out on a blowout. And I know this to be the case because that's the story of my life. I'd stop drinking alcohol, I'd end up picking up a drink again, and then every time that I stopped and then restarted, it would always be worse. And it was this spiral that was just going to get out of control until I ended up in a coffin. And if you ask me, using willpower and resisting it and begging God to help you, all of these things actually reinforce the idea that stopping drinking is hard. That alcohol is something that you need to resist. You need to fight the urge. And none of this is true. You don't need to fight the urge to not drink bleach. You just logically see that stuff as something you don't want to put in your body. So if you ask me, the solutions actually make things worse. Not always. I know there's going to be people that say, I did AA, it worked for me, my own mother's done it. I'm talking here on a more broad level. So the fourth reason why you drink is because the people around you promote it. It's very rare that somebody just sees an alcohol advertisement and then decides, okay, I'm going to drink for the rest of my life at 21 years of age or 18 in England. Usually, it's friends, it's quite often family, it's people that we look up to that are the ones that are giving us the drug. And it's pretty sad. We don't get warned when we drink that we could drink this for the rest of our life. We don't get warned that it's addictive. We don't get warned that it's a carcinogen. It's just, here you go. And that's really, really hard. You know, when you're young and you're trying to figure out your place in the world and everybody around you's drinking and then someone you love hands you a drink, pretty hard to say no to that. But that's how it starts. People that we love, that we want the acceptance of, give us this drink, and then it's like everything else just takes care of itself. But that's another reason why you drink, because people close to you give it to you. Now, the 5th, 6th, and 7th reason are all about the addictive nature of alcohol. Firstly, alcohol creates withdrawal, and this is the 5th reason. When you don't drink, you get a feeling of restlessness, the chemicals in your brain go out of balance, and the only way that you can get rid of that feeling is by drinking again. Technically, the way to get rid of it is to stop drinking forever and you never deal with that problem ever again. But either way, when you don't drink, there's a feeling of restlessness. Again, I talk about this in my book, I go into the science of all of this, but that is the 5th reason. Now, the 6th reason is that it starts to dehydrate you. See, how many times have you had 4 drinks and you want a 5th one? If you were to drink 4 pints of water, would you really want to drink a 5th pint? Of course not. But when you drink alcohol, it's a diuretic, so it makes you want to drink more. And then the 7th reason is that it also lowers your inhibitions, which means that you tell yourself, I'm going to have 1 or 2 drinks tonight, and then you have your 3rd, your 4th, your 5th, because all of these forces are working against you when it comes to the addictive nature of alcohol itself. You've got the withdrawal, you've got the dehydration, you've got the lowered inhibitions, and if you've read any popular stop drinking books, you probably already know this, but when these 3 things are working against you, it's so hard to just stop at 1 or 2 drinks. Don't get me wrong, plenty of people do it, but not me, and not most of the people I know. There's a minority of people who stop at 1 or 2, and that's it, but it's not most people. Because the whole nature of alcohol is for you to drink 1, and then want to drink more, despite having good intentions. And the 8th reason why you drink alcohol is because you haven't seriously tried to stop. And when I say this, you've not tried something different. You might have tried AA in the past, you might have tried stopping with willpower, just resisting the urge, reading some stop drinking books, but doing this with the old methods and doing this alone has a much higher chance of failure. Now, if you want to get to a place where you're in a state of mind where you can truly take it or leave it, and you always choose to leave it, there's no more fight, there's no more struggle, then I have good news. I'm enrolling new clients in the Sober Clear program. This is a scientifically validated approach that works by reframing how you view alcohol and then has a future-focused approach where people are going towards something better rather than just running away from the pain of alcohol. We get a 96% client-rated success rate. The program has been scientifically validated by an academic psychologist. There's a scientific report that's written on Google Scholar that talks about the success rate, the science behind the method. If you want me to take you through this method, then just click the link down below, fill in an application, and schedule a call. We can jump on a short call to really figure out if the Sober Clear system could be the right thing for you. I don't know if it is, maybe not, but if you just go ahead and fill in the application, we can find out. Because I want you to beat this. I want you to beat it for good. I want you to live the life of your dreams. So click the link down below, fill in the application, and if you click the video on the screen now, I'm going to show you some of the warning signs that alcohol could be killing you.